we wanted to understand what is going to be paying for what, and so on. And the alternative was something which I thought was going to be a tick box exercise, that we have a flag.
So this one, what does it do? Does it lie? I'm trying to place 22 million in context.
It's 120 meters tall flag, which is 10 meter by 15 meter, the flag itself.
Okay.
And during the day, it will be seen. At night, you'll also be able to see it. Because
it's lit.
It lit at night, because the education has to be continuous, both during the day and at night.
You see that line, that education has to be continuous, both in the afternoon and at night.
Because
it's lit.
It lit at night, because the education has to be continuous, both during the day and at night. And the massive nature of the flag is bringing in the steel industry, because
the steel industry. So the pole, is this the pole?
Yes, right from the building.
And on this interview, you can hear that JJ Tabane is actually baffled by the things that the minister was saying. Like, how can this guy actually come on national television and say all of these things? How?
of the flag itself, with a lot of cranes which would have to get this very, big, massive steel. With a lot of construction material and so on. So the value, as I said, would outlive us. Us because it is important, JJ. It is important that we make the point that I hear you talk about priorities and so on. But as I said to you, this is a fully fledged branch, which has built museums, which has built a lot of monuments in the past and continues to do that.
Guys, this scandal of 22 million rand for a flag is just not going away. But somehow it's not going away. I mean, yesterday I actually saw this interview with the former colleague of Nathi Mthethwa. And this former colleague of Nathi Mthethwa is justifying the idea of spending 22 million rands on a flag. And he's telling us that, guys, if you go to France, you will see the Eiffel Tower. And if you go to the United States, you will see the Statue of Liberty. So it makes sense why we should actually have something like that, because as South Africa, we don't have anything like that. We don't have anything like that. And I couldn't actually believe that a person can go on national television and defend such a nonsensical idea. And I must say that these are the kind of people that are giving Nathi Mthethwa a bad rep. It is them. I know the ANC and some of the supporters of the ANC have been saying that the media is talking bad about Nathi Mthethwa, but these are the people that are talking bad about Nathi Mthethwa, because when they go on the same media to defend this kind of idea, what do they expect us to do? What do they expect us to do? Because it seems like these people only want to go on national television and defend these nonsensical ideas, and people must not talk about it, because if people talk about it, then people are wrong. They are talking bad about Nathi Mthethwa. I just cannot understand. I just cannot understand. And guys, I'm sorry, because when you listen to the Mr. Professor here, Professor Sipho Mohala, you are going to lose a few brain cells. And I'm sorry for that, guys. I apologize, but I've already lost mine. Now it's time for you to lose yours too.
Whether the focus, when you see things like the flag saga and many other projects, were those just deliberate distractions that took away or were those part of what looked like a deeper systemic neglect in the sector maybe?
First of all, I must indicate that I had the privilege of working with Mr. Nathi Mthethwa in the first 2 years of his tenure as the Minister of Arts and Culture. And I think he had a relatively good start in the sense that despite the initial cynicism, the industry did embrace him. However, you would recall that by 2019, the Department of Arts and Culture was merged with Sport and Recreation into one department. That has been done before, and the result has been the same, that the arts and culture component gets neglected. It gets treated more like, a poor cousin of sports. And that has been a perennial problem since 94. So a lot of cracks began to show in his administration. And coming to the 22 million saga flag, this is a matter that happened way after I left civil service, and I have a strong opinion about it, and I hope you can give me a minute to explain.
Sure.
If you go to Egypt, you most certainly want to visit the pyramids. If you go to New York, you'd most certainly want to visit the Statue of Liberty. And if you go to Paris, where Ambassador Mthethwa sadly passed away, you would want to visit the Eiffel Towers. South Africa at the moment does not have a landmark of that nature. I had the privilege of working in the Union buildings at some point, and in 1 hour, you would get about 6 buses visiting the Mandela statue. So what does that mean is that such landmarks attract a lot of tourism revenue. So
this guy is basically going to contradict himself on national television, because he just told us that in this country we don't have something like that. And on the same breath, he's telling us that people are going to Union Building, to the statue of Mandela. So if we already have a statue of Mandela that people are visiting, why would we need a flag that costs 22 million rands? And how is that actually going to benefit the people of this country? I just cannot understand, man. I just cannot understand how the comrades can justify spending money on nonsense, and at the same time telling us that it is going to benefit us. How is it going to benefit us? How? People can go there to the statue of Mandela and take pictures there with the statue of Mandela. It does absolutely nothing for us. It does nothing for us. This country is facing real problems. And we've been facing real problems for a very long time. Do you think that the South Africans actually care about a flag that lights in the evening? We don't care about that. People are unemployed. People are unemployed. And if people are not happy about the statue of Mandela, they can go to Cape Town and see the Table Mountain. That is the best that we can offer. They can go to Cape Town and climb the Table Mountain and take pictures and go back home. I do not get it, man. I do not get it.
Such landmarks attract a lot of tourism revenue. So should government, and please note that I'm not saying arts and culture, but government widely invested in such a flag, the objective would have been to generate tourism revenue, whilst it was Nathi Mthethwa as the Minister of Arts and Culture's mandate to promote national symbols, but I feel strongly that the return on investment wouldn't have gone directly to the arts and culture sector. Instead, it would have gone to tourism. And therefore, it is my strong feeling that that project was necessary. However, it should have been funded by SA Tourism or any of our tourism.
No, South Africans are not supposed to fund anything like that, man. Please stop. He says that it should be funded by tourism, as if he's not speaking about the taxpayers of this country. No, South Africans must not pay for nonsensical things like that. And I'm sorry, Professor Sipo, but you don't sound like a professor, man. I don't want to lie. You don't sound like a professor. So, guys, yesterday, Bheki Cele Bheki Cele is coming after South Africans, guys. Bheki Cele feels like South Africans are not, they are not remorseful, or not remorseful, man. I'm trying to find a word. Or South Africans have actually not shown sympathy towards the death of Nathi Mthethwa, and he's not happy about that. And Bheki Cele is basically telling us that we are evil. South Africans are evil. I'm sorry to tell Bheki Cele, but man, you know, Ambassador Mthethwa has actually passed away at a time where many things are actually coming out, and his name has been mentioned a lot. And it's going to be very hard for the people to look at Ambassador Mthethwa and maybe say nice things about him with all of these things that are coming out right now. General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has already made it clear how Nathi Mthethwa used his power as the Minister of Police to interfere in the police work. And South Africans are not happy about that. And I'm going to show you again what General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi said about Nathi Mthethwa in the ad hoc committee. So I don't know how Bheki Cele somehow expect South Africans to treat Nathi Mthethwa as if he's some national hero, whereas there are scandals of corruption that are coming out against Nathi Mthethwa. It is said that he actually died at the time where things are actually coming out. If Nathi Mthethwa passed away when things were still low, the dust, nothing happening, I'm sure many people would have actually said, man, like it is so sad, man. Like it is so sad what is happening. But now South Africans are learning about how their tax money has been stolen by the criminal cartels with the help of the politicians. And this is the reason why you don't see any sympathy amongst the South Africans when it comes to this. Of course, the ANC is heard about it. And as people, man, like it is bad and it is hard to lose someone that you love. And I honestly feel for the family of Nathi Mthethwa, more especially because I feel like they are not going to get closure anytime soon. I don't feel like they are going to get any closure anytime soon because the stories that have been circulated surrounding the death of their loved one is still confusing. South Africans still do not understand what happened with Nathi Mthethwa. And now we are hearing that there's a possibility that the French magistrate might actually hold the autopsy report. The family might not actually see that autopsy report. So they are going to rely on the investigations that are going to be conducted in the country. And the South African Police Service, the investigators of the SAPS, they've been told that no, there's no need for you guys to come here to France. There's only one investigator that is going to go to France, and this guy is not going to be on the ground. He will be meeting with the French authorities. So I feel, I honestly feel for the family of Nathi Mthethwa. It's sad. It's sad to lose somebody that you love. It's sad. But unfortunately, Nathi Mthethwa was a politician, and now some things about him are coming out. And this is the reality that we are dealing with right now. And I don't know why would Bheki Cele expect South Africans to ignore everything that is happening. I do not understand. Now he's insulting South Africans. He's going at South Africans to say, you guys do not have sympathy. You guys are evil. You guys are soulless. That's what he's saying, basically.
Nathi Mthethwa.
Whether your enemy died,
at least we are linda imzu
at least you wait a minute
zwanethile ubadedele bakhala usungabuya
and wait for their family to cry.
ngelilanga uzothi wafa nemali yami njalo.
Then you can come back another day and tell people that he died with your money, instead of telling people immediately that that person that died, he died with my money.
But I'm telling you, you just sit there and you say, these South Africans are mad. Bafundisi, ngiyangibuza ukuthi
the guy literally says that South Africans are mad. They are mad.
South Africans are mad. Bafundisi, ngiyangibuza ukuthi angikwazi nikhuphukele entabeni ngenitshela uThixo enze.
No, now Bheki Cele is asking the pastors if they can go to the mountains and ask God
le nto ayenze eSodoma naseGomora.
to reverse what he did in Sodom and Gomorrah.
I wouldn't mind. enze lento ayenze Sodoma naseGomora, because ni Sodoma neGomora mina manje.
It says that we are Sodom and Gomorrah.
South Africans ni Sodoma neGomora.
You don't have hearts, you don't have souls.
Ni nunu.
Bheki Cele is sick and tired, man. Bheki Cele is sick and tired. And he's asking the pastors that, guys, can't you guys find a way to go into the mountains and talk to God directly? Because these South Africans are soulless. These South Africans are heartless. They are not showing any sympathy to our comrade that has been exposed to be involved in corruption. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. And I know one of the reasons why Bheki Cele is speaking about the people that are firing hard at Nathi Mthethwa, even though the ambassador has already passed away. He's talking about General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. And you know, man, General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is the type of a guy that when it's up, it's up. When it's war, it's war. We are not stopping anytime soon. And I want you to listen to this. Man, General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is something else, man.
Honorable Chair, honorable members, people will say Mkhwanazi is very insensitive, but when we talk the honest truth, we must tell the truth. The country was in pain to listen to how much of money was spent at the former president's house, homestead, at Ingatla, because there was an accountability that was happening at the time. But this government has never paid attention on the amount of expenditure that was incurred by crime intelligence over years. Interrogate that within the Secret Service account, the misuse of the Secret Service account. Obviously, the Joint Standing Committee is supposed to do that. It's disturbing when reports supposed to be presented to such structures to hold people accountable. Nothing happens to it. We are sitting today, the country is in mourning because we lost one of our ambassadors in France. But then ambassador was a minister of police. As you switch on the television and you watch the homestead of the former minister of police, you're going to see a very big wall, perimeter wall, that was built by the money from crime intelligence. But nobody was held accountable for such, and the reports are there. So 2011, we're experiencing all these things. It's members from crime intelligence that takes the money out of crime intelligence to use them to take control of the executive authority. The minister never asked for the wall. The members from crime intelligence took the money secret fund account to make that wall so they can get control of the minister. So tomorrow they can then loot that money on their own. Then the minister can't say anything. It's the same thing bringing us here today. Minister of Police, Mr. Mthethwa, was made to sign a letter by the rogue people within the organization. They might have done something to him. He signs a letter, he committed himself, and today he's in trouble because of that. Had he not signed that letter, he would not have been here. So some of the executive officials or authorities that are arriving in the South African Police Service, they had no bad intentions. But the rogue within catches them. They take control of them, and they do as they please after that. So as one of the things that I will recommend, Honorable Chair, defense intelligence, state security does not account to the open committees in Parliament. Perhaps we might want to start looking as Parliament on crime intelligence. They've got two accounts of budget is allocated to them, open budget and the COVID budget. Every time when you come to Parliament, there's always this confusion as to what you say on this, what you don't say on that. Because there are questions that are coming from Parliament that talks about COVID issues that should be discussed in another committee, but they are expected to be discussed in this open committee. You can forgive some of the parliamentarian members, they don't know that. They're going to know about a house that was built or bought. They throw questions and they want you to explain that. They don't know that belongs in another committee. although you have members of the Portfolio Committee of Police who deliberately, knowing, having taken an oath that they will never divulge the secrets of the state in public, members that are part of the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence, who are supposed to keep the secrets there. And if they ask questions, they must ask in that line. They don't ask questions. I mean, if I digress a bit, Commissioner, honorable members, the member of parliament that I referred to before went out in the public and said, no, when I asked these questions, there was no Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence. And the member asked me to apologize in the national TV. I told everyone else that told me about that I will apologize to the honorable member. I'm apologizing that the honorable member had forgotten the oath that she took. I apologize for it. That she took an oath, that oath has got an expiry date according to her. That this one is valid only for the period when the Joint Standing Committee exists. When a Joint Standing Committee doesn't exist, that oath that she took, it expires. The honorable member that forget that she took an oath before South Africans in Parliament not to divulge the secret of government. And she forgot about the oath. I apologize for that she forgot that oath. And she asked the questions in February and the likes. But I must also apologize that the honorable member forgot that in April, May this year, she took an oath as a member of the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence. But she still comes to the Portfolio Committee of Police and asks questions about the secret fund account. 3 questions that the police had to respond to her and say, sorry, ma'am, this does not belong here. The chairperson of the Portfolio Committee of Police knows that because I did share with him. This I shared because she denied the initial statement. Then I wanted to prove that it didn't only end there. I only made reference to some few things, not all. So there are many examples, Honorable Chair and members, that one can put, but amongst these recommendations that are put in here, one of them that maybe I didn't write is really to interrogate whether is it necessary for crime intelligence to account in an open committee? Perhaps that's where the problem comes from. Because state security don't hear much about this. Not to say things are hunky-dory that side. Defense intelligence don't hear anything about this. But crime intelligence always in the middle. Why? It's because you have a portfolio committee of police that holds them accountable. So perhaps the budget must just be moved covertly, all of it, so that it goes to one committee, Joint Standing Committee, being handled there. Whether good or bad, but it is regarded as a covert fund completely. So that is one of the addition if I were to include Honorable Chair and honorable members on these recommendations. But maybe to narrate on some of those that are here, Honorable Chair and members, I had requested on the first one that the South African Police Service senior management, and I hope the honorable members know where the senior managers in the police start from, is brigadiers and higher. Once you become a brigadier and higher, at least there must be a lifestyle audit that is conducted to all of us. And it must not be a once-off thing. And it must not be done by the police. The committee might want to find an independent entity to do that, and the report be given to a chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Police, and then it can be elevated to Parliament. But basically, the employment condition of a police officer needs to be conditional. It cannot be just a permanent thing. You come in, you work until you retire at 60, whether you are delivering or not delivering, whether you are rogue or not rogue, you just enjoy your salary every single day. We have to review that. So lifestyle audit is what I'm calling for. We all must be subjected to that, so that you get to understand where does Mkwanas get the money to buy the suit? Can he afford it? And many other things that we have as police management. And I'll also request that perhaps the committee, ad hoc committee through Parliament.
And guys, so to be honest, that lifestyle audit, it is very necessary, man. It is very necessary because one of the things that General Ntando has mentioned here, it is the high walls at the house of Nathi Mthethwa, and saying that those walls were built by the money from the crime intelligence. And yesterday, we also saw Shadrach Sibia, the Deputy National Commissioner, he was also raided, and his house is massive, man. His house is massive. And when you are looking at the houses like that one, you are just asking yourself, man, how much does General Sibia makes for him to live in such a big, beautiful mansion, man? And the media said that, no, it was a compound. We are here at the compound, just like they did with the mention of Maumela. They said that we are at the home of the tycoon in Sandhurst. But when you look at that, you are like, man, this is not just a home. This is a whole mansion. The same thing with Sibia. I don't know why the media try to make these things sound as if, no, they are nothing. This is just Sibia's smaller house. This is just Ramaphosa's nephew's smaller house. The SIU is raiding this smaller house. I don't know why they are not being serious with the people of this country. I don't know why. And guys, we will get to see that house of General Sibia on the next clip that we are doing, because after this one, we are dropping the one of General Sibia and him being raided. Guys, I don't know, man. There's something that is happening in this country. What are your thoughts? Please talk about your the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like button and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabasa. So I will see you next time. Bye bye.